She was barely out of pigtails when it began, a picture-perfect smile for the cameras, a secret rotting behind it. Raven-Symoné grew up in America's living rooms, but her real life was a horror show. And now, decades later, she's finally spilling it all, not just about herself, but about him. The man once crowned America's dad, the king of canned laughs and creepy, unwanted hugs. The man who, according to Raven, didn't just shatter innocence, he destroyed lives. One of those lives, Malcolm Jamal Warner, he once warned her, "You'll disappear like Malcolm." Days later, Malcolm was gone. Think about that. A drowning, no witnesses, no real investigation, just a casket shipped home under a headline so polished it squeaked. But Raven's voice is slicing through the hush now, serving up hidden threats, deleted voicemails, leaked files, and a pattern so sinister it could stop your pulse. She's not only outing abuse, she's outing murder. Malcolm's death wasn't tragic chance. It was a warning shot to anyone daring to cross the monster in the mask. And Raven, she's done playing quiet. She's naming names, flashing receipts, and calling it what it is. Murder in a smile. This isn't some harmless Hollywood tea. It's betrayal marinated in fear, buried deep in studio shadows. And if Raven's telling the truth, TV's most cherished legacy is dripping in blood. Stay right here, because what you're about to hear is going to wreck you. To hear will break you. She was never meant to talk. Just smile pretty, wave politely, and vanish into Hollywood's attic like every other washed-up child star. But Raven-Symoné didn't vanish. She bided her time. She watched. And when the moment was right, she detonated. The world hasn't stopped shaking since. In a gut-punch, no-holds-barred interview that sent Hollywood spiraling, Raven confirmed what people feared and what some had been whispering in dark corners. Bill Cosby didn't just prey on women. He shut down the men who tried to take him down. One of them, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Let that sit heavy in your chest. America remembers Malcolm as the clean-cut, golden-hearted son from The Cosby Show, the one who never stirred trouble, who kept his head low, worked hard, stayed humble, the one we practically grew up with. But off camera, Malcolm was evolving. Raven says he was getting bold, asking the wrong questions, pushing back, demanding transparency, and, worst of all, stepping out from under Cosby's shadow. That's when the smiles turned to ice. That's when Cosby's fake father act froze over. And that's when Raven overheard the line that's haunted her for years. "He's getting too loud. We might need to quiet him." She was just a teenager. She didn't get it then. Now she knows exactly what it meant. Malcolm wasn't just a co-star. He was a threat. And in Hollywood, threats don't get ignored. They get erased. Raven says Bill Cosby pulled her aside one day, calm and casual, like he was ordering dessert, and told her, "If you ever go against me, you'll disappear just like Malcolm will." Those words froze her from the inside out. She didn't speak. She didn't blink. She just nodded. Because what exactly do you do when the most powerful man in your career stares you down and casually threatens your life? But it didn't stop there. Raven says Cosby had eyes everywhere. In her dressing room, her trailer, her hotel. She'd hear her own private conversations repeated back to her. Notes slipped under her door, totally blank, just to remind her, "We're watching." And then Malcolm went on vacation to Costa Rica with his wife and daughter. Supposed to be a break, a reset, a breath of fresh air, but he never came back. The headlines read, "Malcolm Jamal Warner dies tragically in drowning accident." But Raven says the second she saw it, she knew it was a lie. She hadn't spoken to him in months, but she remembered their last conversation backstage between takes. He leaned in close and said, "One day I'm going to tell everything. But first, I have to make sure my family's safe." That moment carved itself into her memory. And when he died, she didn't cry, she didn't scream, she froze. Because she knew it wasn't just a death, it was a message. But the world blew past it like nothing happened. Too fast, the funeral rushed. The investigation closed, the files sealed. Autopsy results delayed, every question brushed aside. And then came the call. Bill Cosby, out of nowhere, said just one thing before hanging up. "Now you understand what happens when people talk." Click. That's the moment Raven snapped. Fear morphed into fire. She vanished from the spotlight, cut every tie, walked away from the industry. But she wasn't hiding. She was hunting. Because if she was going to talk, she needed ammo. And trust me, baby, she's loaded. Voicemails, old hard drives, encrypted messages, backstage recordings, names, dates, threats. She kept everything. And in her interview, she dropped the line that sent the internet into cardiac arrest. "Cosby didn't just hurt me, he killed Malcolm." Now the dominoes are falling. An NBC archival source confirmed there was footage, a heated, ugly showdown between Cosby and Malcolm Jamal Warner on set just months before he died. Officially corrupted, lost. unusable. Yet somehow, a 17-second clip leaked on Reddit last week. No audio, but clear as day. Malcolm standing his ground, Cosby's face twisted red, teeth clenched, finger jabbing like a weapon. And then Malcolm walking away. A former set tech swears he heard Cosby mutter under his breath, "You talk and you're done." That's what Cosby allegedly growled. But Malcolm, he was ready to talk. Raven says he kept a digital journal loaded with encrypted files, voice memos, and secret contracts. He called it his life insurance. And just like in a bad mob movie, it vanished the very next day. Wiped clean, gone from his iCloud, gone from his phone, gone from his MacBook. But the tech trail doesn't lie. Data logs show his cloud account was accessed 6 hours after he died. Not from Costa Rica, not by his wife, not by his daughter, but from an IP address in Los Angeles. And just 2 blocks from that ping, a property owned by a shell company linked to one of Cosby's old attorneys? Coincidence? Or the sloppiest cover-up in Hollywood history? Because whispers are now full-blown screams. A whistleblower anonymous? But clearly in deep claims, Malcolm was about to drop a bomb. Documents proving Cosby's production company was illegally funneling money, using the names and faces of former cast members without telling them, and whose name was stamped right on those shady contracts. Raven Symoné Malcolm showed her. He warned her. And that's why she believes he was killed, because he stopped protecting them and started planning to expose them. Justice never came. Instead, he got drowned. But Raven's not scared anymore. She's locked, loaded, lawyering up. She's got backups. She's got witnesses. And soon, she swears she'd drop a recording Malcolm made just 5 days before his death. What's on it? She's not saying yet. On it? Not yet. But she closed the interview with a line that hit like a warning shot. The truth is coming, and when it does, I hope they run. The truth is coming. Her words, not mine. But what if it's already here, and Hollywood is shoving it 6 feet under? Because right after Raven's bombshell dropped, Tinseltown didn't just go quiet, it went full panic mode. Emails mysteriously wiped. Social media accounts ghost, former castmates scrubbing their profiles like they'd just been caught with the receipts. And then came the legal blitz. 2 cease and desist letters, one from Bill Cosby's legal pit bulls, the other from a legacy production house, still cashing checks off the Cosby Show reruns. They screamed defamation. They screamed contract violations. They even accused her of stirring up false memories. But Raven, she's not folding, she's doubling down. I was a child, she said. On a tear-streaked livestream, they told me to smile, to shut up, to keep the brand clean. But now I'm breaking the brand. I'm breaking him. And here's the twist. She's not alone anymore. Out of nowhere, someone nobody expected stepped forward. Tempest Bledsoe, the actress who played Vanessa Huxtable, she went live on Instagram. 10 minutes of pure, unnerving silence. Just her face. And then she whispered one chilling line. Y'all don't know the half of it. Then she killed the stream. Was it confirmation? A cry for help? Or a subtle warning that she might be next? Nobody knows. But what dropped after that erased any shred of doubt that something rotten was festering behind those studio walls. A leaked internal memo from NBC's own legal department surfaced, dated just 3 days after Malcolm Jamal Warner's death. Subject line, Preemptive Narrative Strategy. Warner Vacation Incident. This wasn't grief. This wasn't shock. This was cold, calculated damage control. They were already crafting the official story before his body even made it home. And the memo. It laid out 3 crystal clear priorities. Confirm accidental drowning with local authorities, delay media inquiries, and ensure all Warner digital assets are secured. Digital assets as in his phone, his laptop, his journal, and here's the kicker. A Costa Rican hotel staffer has now confirmed that Malcolm's room was checked out early with a master keycard registered to a visiting media rep. The name on the log? Blacked out. But the signature? A perfect match. To an NBC crisis manager, so tell me again how this was just a tragedy? Because even in death, they were wiping the crime scene clean. But what Raven uncovered next turned this into a full-blown digital battlefield. She'd never deleted Malcolm's old messages, and one of them dated just 2 weeks before he died was only 6 words long, but it flipped the whole story upside down. If I go quiet, it wasn't my choice. Tell Ice. That's it. 3 little words that turned this whole saga on its head. Tell Ice. As in Ice Cube? But why him? Sources close to Cube say Malcolm reached out with encrypted files packed with dirt, shady finances, backdoor deals, the kind of skeletons that could bring Cosby's empire crashing down. Malcolm trusted Cube because Cube had been there himself, silenced, blacklisted, but never broken. And now, Cube's going full investigator mode. He's bankrolling a private probe, hiring ex-FBI agents, cybersecurity pros, and even flying in forensic divers to comb the waters in Costa Rica. Why? Because he got the same email Malcolm sent? Subject line: "If something happens to me, tell the truth anyway." No message in the body, just an attachment labeled rjal.zip. The file's still corrupted, but metadata shows it was created on a MacBook Pro, registered to Malcolm's production company, the same laptop that's now vanished. Coincidence? Or a smoking gun that someone erased? And then there's the voicemail. A distorted, spine-chilling clip leaked to an underground podcast. The voice is masked, but experts swear the cadence, the pauses, the tone, it's Cosby, and the words. This isn't a threat, it's advice. Walk away, don't let that girl get in your head. This isn't your story to tell. That girl. Was Raven the same Raven Malcolm planned to back up? To stand beside? To help expose the monster behind the sitcom smile? If that's true, it's no wonder he had to be shut down, because just 2 days before his death, he called Raven. She missed it. But the voicemail he left, she's holding it back for now. Still, during her live documentary teaser, she dropped a taste. One sentence that hit like a gut punch. "I'm scared, but I can't stay quiet anymore." Then static. Then nothing. The last words Malcolm Jamal Warner ever said to her. Locked in a phone, locked in time, and now the world's tuned in. Hashtags are exploding. Hashtag justice for Malcolm. Hashtag Raven exposed, Cosby. Hashtag truth behind the curtain. YouTubers are scrubbing old Cosby show episodes frame by frame. Reddit. Detectives are comparing signatures, timestamps, and email headers. TikTok. A flood of reenactments, breakdowns, and deep dives. But the real storm is brewing in the courts. Raven's confirmed she's preparing to testify in a sealed civil case tied to Malcolm's estate. It started as a simple financial dispute. Now it's morphing into a wrongful death battle, and the reason? Private investigators uncovered 3 major red flags in Malcolm's Costa Rican autopsy. Conflicting time of death entries, missing toxicology samples, and a 48-minute black hole in hotel hallway surveillance where he was last spotted alive. Oh, and here's the kicker. Someone accessed his hotel room 3 times that night with a master key, still unidentified, but the logs are there, and someone's scrambling to erase them. They're scared, and they should be. Because Raven isn't just accusing Bill Cosby of harassment. She's torching Hollywood hypocrisy and building a murder case step by step, file by file, voice by voice. And she's not alone anymore. Malcolm Jamal Warner's mother finally broke her silence, saying through tears, "My son didn't drown. He didn't slip. He didn't fall. He was taken. And the people who did it know exactly who they are." That single sentence was more powerful than any lawsuit because it wasn't a statement. It was a war cry, and the movement is growing. Raven Symoné's new docuseries, They Tried to Silence Me, is already catching fire. She's promising leaked recordings, internal memos, private conversations, and hidden footage. The stuff networks pray you never see. At the center of it all, a man who died trying to speak, and a woman who refused to let his story be buried. Malcolm Jamal Warner didn't drown in water. He drowned in secrets, in silence, in a legacy staged to look pristine on camera and poisonous behind it. But Raven isn't filming sitcoms anymore. She's filming truth, and it's ugly. It's heartbreaking. It's dangerous, and it's real. Stay tuned. He wasn't supposed to die. He was supposed to speak to finally tell the truth behind the lies, but instead he left in a body bag. And now the one woman who kept quiet for decades has finally opened her mouth. Raven Symoné, the face of calm and the heart of the Cosby Show legacy, just broke down on camera and blew the lid off everything. Her voice trembled, her eyes brimmed with pain, and her words wrecked everything we thought we knew. Malcolm didn't drown, he was silenced. And the man behind it, she says, was Bill Cosby. Let that sink in. The man once hailed as America's dad, now accused of orchestrating the murder of the TV son who trusted him most. And Raven, she's naming names. She's done shielding fake smiles and guarding skeleton-filled closets because Malcolm died begging someone to hear him. He left voicemails. He left warnings. And in one chilling message he said, "If something happens to me, don't let her speak at my funeral." Her, the woman Raven believes helped cover it all up. The same one who smiled for cameras and handed tissues to Malcolm's grieving mother on national TV while allegedly burying the truth with network lawyers. Because this isn't just about Cosby. This reaches higher, much higher. Raven's investigation has now linked Cosby's shell companies to 2 former NBC executives, one of whom allegedly pocketed consulting fees through an offshore account less than a week after Malcolm's death. And that missing laptop? A former New York storage contractor has come forward under a false identity, voice disguised, and what he claims is chilling. I was paid $30,000 in cash, no paperwork, to move a metal briefcase and 2 devices from a storage unit tied to a company called Pudding LLC. I knew exactly who it belonged to. Everyone in New York knew that was Cosby's ghost company. Inside that briefcase, the contractor swears he saw a laptop with the initials MJW carved into the bottom. Malcolm Jamal Warner's laptop. Gone, hidden, buried. But the secret's inside. They didn't die because Raven had backups. She had voicemails Malcolm emailed her. She had backstage clips. She had messages. And one of them was recorded just 48 hours before Malcolm drowned. She played it during her live stream's closing minutes. A voice worn down, scared, broken. They're watching me. I can feel it, but I'm not backing down. I have the files. I've made copies. If you're hearing this, I'm gone. And if I'm gone, it wasn't an accident. Silence, static. That was the last time anyone heard from Malcolm. Until now, because Raven has handed those files to her legal team, to a federal investigator, and to an independent journalist now prepping a multi-part expose called Murder in Prime Time. The world is watching. Hollywood is crumbling. And sources say Cosby's camp is in full-blown panic. Insiders flipping, and a sealed grand jury inquiry quietly moving forward. And this isn't just abuse charges anymore. This is murder, money laundering, obstruction, corporate conspiracy. And here's where it gets darker. A former Cosby Show writer has revealed that 2 other cast members had previously confessed in private that if Malcolm talked, they'd all go down with him. One of them has since gone completely dark. The other, spotted striding into a federal building in Los Angeles last week, sunglasses on, 2 attorneys in tow. No public statements yet, but the whispers have turned into full-blown roars. Old set footage is being picked apart frame by frame. Fan forums are flagging strange glances, off-script lines, and scene cuts that never made sense. And when you line it all up with Raven's timeline, it paints a story, one dripping with fear, manipulation, and control. Then came the heaviest blow of all. Malcolm Jamal Warner's mother. For years, she grieved in silence. No interviews, no speculation, nothing. But today her voice cut through a press room like thunder. My son did not die in an accident. He was silenced. And I will spend the rest of my life making sure the world knows who took him from me. In her hands, a photo. Malcolm smiling, holding his daughter, dressed in a red sweater. The very sweater Raven swears she saw in a dream the night he died. I saw him, Raven whispered during her live stream. In that sweater, in that house. The one from Brooklyn. He looked at me and said, "Don't forget me. They'll try to erase me. But don't." And now she's not forgetting, and neither are we, because the facts are too loud, the evidence too damning, and the silence far too suspicious. Who got into Malcolm Jamal Warner's digital files just hours after he died? Why was his journal erased and replaced with a single mocking folder named "Shut It"? And why is NBC suddenly sweating bullets over Raven's legal team demanding decades-old documents? Because, baby, this isn't the finale, it's the opening act of a storm. A storm Raven Symoné just lit the fuse for. So, let's ask the real questions. Do you believe her? Do you think Cosby's America's Dad legacy was just a shiny mask hiding something rotten? Do you think Malcolm's death was an innocent accident? Or a silent execution, wrapped in a fake smile, buried under studio lights and sold to us as just another tragedy? This isn't just a video. This is a movement. And now that the mask is off, there's no turning back. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let your voice be heard. Share this with the people still clinging to the idea that The Cosby Show was harmless nostalgia. Let them see what was hiding behind the canned laughter. Because this time, the silence ends here. And we're not done digging. Take a breath, let it sink in. Because if you've made it this far, you already know this wasn't just a tragedy. It was a setup, a silencing, a message written in death. Malcolm Jamal Warner didn't just die. He was taken from his family, taken from the truth, taken from a future he was ready to fight for. And now, Raven Symoné has done the one thing they never saw coming. She refused to stay quiet. So ask yourself, how many others were erased before her? How many more will disappear if we keep our mouths shut? This isn't some wild-eyed conspiracy theory. This is a call for justice. If this story shook you, if your chest tightened hearing Malcolm's final words, if you believe in truth, in accountability, in dragging monsters out from behind their masks, then don't just keep scrolling. Comment below. Add your voice to this movement. Share this with someone still living under the illusion of Hollywood's perfect facade. Let the silence crack wide open. Smash that like button if this destroyed everything you thought you knew about the industry. Subscribe if you're ready for more truth they pray you never hear, because this isn't just a video, it's a fight. A fight for Malcolm Jamal Warner. A fight for every victim told to smile, shut up, and survive. But we're done surviving. We're exposing. They tried to bury the truth, but they didn't realize we are the storm. Hashtag Justice for Malcolm. Hashtag Raven exposed Cosby. Hashtag Truth behind the curtain. And trust me, we're just getting started.